you'll be back by nightfall. But I'm working my way back to you, babe. I know you're quoting something. Oh, Hook, I love you. I love you too, Emma. Hi, guys. So, don't mind me. I'm just recreating one of the best Captain Swan moments we've had in a really long time with my little Funko dolls because I'm apparently 5 years old. So, as we all saw tonight on Once Upon a Time, actually before I get to that, here's your friendly reminder that there are going to be spoilers happening in this episode. So if you have not watched tonight's episode of Once Upon a Time and you do not want to be spoiled, now's your time to start watching. You have, in the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay, now it's your own fault. So, as we saw in tonight's Once Upon a Time, Hook and Emma finally said their I love yous to each other instead of, you know, Emma saying I love you and turning into the Dark One, and Hook saying the woman I love or something like that. You know, we both gotten someone of I love you with a somewhat ring swap thing going on tonight. So the whole this whole episode entitled Nimue was Merlin's backstory. So we got to see Merlin, we got to see his true love, we got to see the first Dark One, we got to see our weekly dose of Arthur being a dick, we got to see a little bit of Zelina. It was kind of, you know, everybody kind of in the pot tonight. So we'll get started, I guess, with Emma and Merlin and the original Dark One. So turns out, not a huge shocker to those of us who are Once Upon a Time obsessed, that Merlin's really only love, Nimue, is the first Dark One. I kind of saw that coming from last week, and you know, the masked figure in the slightly womanly form. Turns out she was seduced by power, and you know, she just couldn't let the power go. She went with Merlin to destroy the surprise Holy Grail, but ended up drinking from it instead and gaining her magic. So if we rewind a little bit, Merlin's power came from drinking of the Holy Grail. So just like how we saw Sir What's-His-Name go up in dust when he tried to grab Excalibur because he wasn't worthy, the same thing happened to Merlin and his, you know, little journey partner. They found the cup, the Grail, in the middle of the desert. One guy tried to drink from it, turned into dust. The other guy tried to drink from it. Merlin, he got magic. And apparently that was 1,000 years ago, so he's been around for quite a long time. He didn't meet his true love until about, you know, 500 years in, something like that. So, you know, he's been around a while. He's been around the block. Nimue came from a village that was being destroyed by somebody who was looking for the Grail. And the second Merlin told her, oh, it's been sitting, you know, at the bottom of some chest in our, you know, shared living space, you could tell that she was like, oh, so if I drink from that, I would get the power too. Yeah. So she didn't burn into ash, which meant apparently whoever controls the Grail thought she was worthy enough. However, when they went to destroy the Grail, so Excalibur is actually the Holy Grail, just, you know, reimagined. Arthur took it, used the spark from Prometheus, and created Excalibur from it. When he did that, the villain, whose name I can't remember or pronounce, who destroyed Nimue's village, he killed her, but she had already drinking from the cup, so she lived. She ended up ripping out his heart, crushing it, thus becoming the first Dark One. And it was actually her who broke Excalibur. She didn't want Merlin to cut away the darkness to do anything with it, so she struck it against the stone and broke off the tip. But Merlin was the one who infused Excalibur into a stone and then created the Dark One's dagger, I guess you could call it. We also got to see Young Apprentice, you know, the old dude with the broom. You know, he was a wee little thing in this week's episode. So it's kind of a sad little tale. You know, Merlin's first love is the one that put him in the tree, and, you know, Emma did overcome the Dark One and, you know, did get the ember that's needed to forge the 2 blades, and resisted the need or the desire, I guess, to kill Merlin. But sadly, something did somewhat tragic happen to Merlin this week. In this week's episode of Arthur is a Dick, Arthur partnered with Zelena to basically turn Excalibur into an anti-Dark One's dagger. So instead of controlling the Dark One, it controls Merlin. Or, I guess whoever's name is on Excalibur, you know, gets control of it. So now Arthur controls Merlin, but we don't know what Arthur's endgame is, except for I'm sure it's something douchey, because apparently that's who Arthur is. Zelena has her little magic cuff removed, thanks to Arthur, and partnered with them because Regina was, you know, treating her like her mute handmaiden. And here's my beef, I guess, with the whole Zelena storyline. I love Zelena as a character. She's a great character. She's fun. She holds nobody prisoner. She really just doesn't give a crap. I'm just sick of this woe is me storyline. You know, it made sense in the season 3 because that was her story. She was green with envy and whatnot, but, you know, now we're kind of seeing something go through, and I don't know what it's leading up to, but I'm kind of over this woe is me, poor me, sob me, Regina gets everything, blah, 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 blah tale. She partnered with Arthur, got her magic cuff removed thing, so she has magic again. Arthur controls Merlin. So now we're stuck in this thing where Emma has the Dark One's dagger and the ember. Merlin is being controlled by Arthur. And so I don't know what's coming around from this, but I have a very sneaking suspicion that part of what Emma did, and maybe why Emma did what she did, was maybe in some respects to save Merlin. Not necessarily to harm one, because she did ask Merlin when they were coming back from their task, is there ever a chance that the Dark One could use their powers for good, not necessarily for evil? So I'm kind of wondering now, once Emma learns of what's happened, she has to figure out a way to erase what's happened and prevent Arthur from ever getting his hand on the Excalibur. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's see, what else did I take in my notes? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, lots of good Captain Swan goodness. We got a little smoochy smooch and another little smoochy smooch. I think the unofficial title of this episode should have been, he should have put a ring on it. We did see Merlin give Nimue a ring that was made out of flowers, and then he turned it into gold, because that's a nifty trick. And then we saw Killian give Emma a ring, not a pretty diamond ring that goes on one's particular finger, but a ring that he says has helped keep him alive, because he keeps saying that he's a survivor, and, you know, he thinks that this ring is part of it. And, you know, a lot of the fan theories that have been going around have been stating that, you know, maybe it's Killian who's, you know, the proper ruler of Excalibur and should be the proper ruler of Camelot, and that his ring and a ring that Merlin wears are very similar, and that maybe it's possible that this ring that he wears is part of the Holy Grail. So, and that's why he keeps surviving. So we shall see. But we did see Emma kind of reaching for that ring quite a bit when she was, you know, trying to stay on the right path, on the good path, when battling with, you know, Dark Ones in her head. I think that's kind of it for this week. It was a very good episode. So far, with the exception of last week, because I'm not a huge Rumpel fan. It's been a very solid season so far, and I'm really excited to see next week's episode. So next week is going to be the 2-hour episode. So Let's Chat Once Upon a Time will actually be posted a little bit later in the evening, because I film these right after the episode airs East Coast time, but since it's 2 episodes, I won't get around to filming this until a little after 10 p.m., which means you can probably look for this around 11 o'clock-ish, once YouTube finishes doing whatever it does. To make sure that you always know when a new episode is on, you can subscribe. The link, well, not the link, but the little subscribe button right down here. Right down here, you can press it, subscribe, and make sure that you stay up to date on all of Let's Chat Once Upon a Time videos and new videos that I might happen to create. I might be doing a beauty video or a fashion video, or, you know, who knows what I might talk about. I might do a Harry Potter video because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. But like I said, next week is the 2-hour episode where I think we're going to learn what Emma did to cast the curse, which means I think we'll finally find out whose heart has been crushed. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to talk about except for it's a really good episode. So I will say goodbye, and Hook will say goodnight, and Emma will say goodnight. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, all that good jazz. All those links are down below. I'm at Entertainista on the Instagram and the Twitter. And until then, bye guys!